Hey Capricorn, welcome back to the channel. So I just sat down with my deck because honestly, the energy around you right now has been intense. I needed to see what the universe is trying to show us for the next 24 hours. And let me tell you, what came through is not what I was expecting at all. I had to shuffle 3 times because I kept thinking I was reading it wrong. But no, this is real. This is happening. You need to hear this. Before we dive in, if you are new here, welcome. I am so glad you found this reading. And if you have been here before, you know how this works. I just want to create a space where we can explore what the cards are saying together. Like friends sitting down over coffee. No pressure, no drama, just genuine insights about what might be unfolding for you. So grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and let us see what your energy is telling us. The first card I pulled for you, and this one came out so fast it practically flew out of the deck, is the Ten of Wands. And Capricorn, I have to be honest with you. When I saw this card, I immediately felt this wave of recognition because I know you have been carrying so much lately. This is not even a question. You have been shouldering responsibilities that honestly are not all yours to carry. And what is interesting about this card showing up right now, in this particular 24-hour window, is that it is not here to tell you that things are going to get heavier. It is actually here to show you where you have been overextending yourself, because something is about to shift that relationship completely. Let me paint you a picture of what I am seeing in this card. There is this figure carrying 10 wands, and they are bent over from the weight of it all. Their destination is visible, they can see where they are going, but the load is just so heavy that every step feels like a struggle. And for you, Capricorn, this has been your reality for longer than you probably want to admit. You are someone who prides yourself on being capable, on being the person everyone can rely on being strong enough to handle whatever comes your way. But here is what the Ten of Wands is revealing to us right now. In this specific moment, you have been confusing strength with martyrdom. You have been telling yourself that if you can carry it, you should carry it. And that mindset has brought you to a breaking point that you might not even fully recognize yet because you are so used to pushing through. What makes this particularly significant for the next 24 hours is that the universe is creating a situation, an opportunity, or maybe even a moment of clarity where you are going to see just how much you have been carrying. And not in a way that makes you feel guilty or weak, but in a way that finally gives you permission to set some of these burdens down. I keep seeing this image of someone who has been walking uphill for so long that they forgot what level ground feels like. And you are about to reach a plateau where you can finally catch your breath and reassess what you are actually holding on to and why. Here's what I want you to understand about this energy. The Ten of Wands is not a punishment card. It is a wake-up card. It is the universe tapping you on the shoulder and saying, hey, I see you. I see how hard you have been working. I see how much you have been sacrificing. But this is not sustainable, and you know it. And the reason this is coming through so strongly for this 24-hour period is because there's going to be a moment. Maybe a conversation, maybe a realization, maybe even a physical sensation in your body where you cannot ignore this anymore. Something is going to make it crystal clear that the way you have been operating needs to change. I know what you are thinking because I know how you Capricorns operate. You are probably sitting there going, but if I do not do it, who will? If I step back, everything will fall apart. And that is exactly the belief system that the Ten of Wands is here to challenge. Because the truth is, when you are carrying everything, you are actually preventing other people from stepping up. You are preventing natural solutions from emerging. You are blocking the flow of support that wants to come to you because you have your hands so full that you cannot even receive it. So in this next 24 hours, I want you to pay attention to where you feel that weight most heavily. Is it in your shoulders? Is it in your mind, constantly running through everything you need to do? Is it in your relationships where you are always the giver and never the receiver? Because wherever you feel it most intensely, that is where the shift is going to start. And I'm not saying everything is going to magically get easier overnight, but I am saying that you are going to gain a new perspective on what you have been carrying and why. And that awareness alone is going to start changing things. Now, the second card, and this is where things start to get really interesting, is the Six of Swords. And when I pulled this card right after the Ten of Wands, I actually got chills because the message is so clear. You are moving away from something. You are in transition. And this is not some far-off future possibility. This is happening right now in this 24-hour window. The Six of Swords is all about that moment when you finally make the decision to leave behind what is no longer serving you and move toward calmer waters. And for you, Capricorn, this is directly connected to what we just talked about with the Ten of Wands. You are moving away from that overworked, overburdened version of yourself and toward a more balanced, more sustainable way of being. What I love about the Six of Swords is that it is not a dramatic card. It is not the tower where everything explodes and changes overnight. It is quiet. It is intentional. It is you making a conscious choice to step into the boat and let yourself be guided to the other shore. And that is so perfectly aligned with your Capricorn energy because you do not need big theatrical transformations. You need practical, grounded shifts that actually work in your real life. And that is exactly what this card is offering you, Dot, in the imagery of the Six of Swords. There is this figure in a boat moving across water, and the water behind them is choppy and rough, but the water ahead is calm and smooth. They are leaving something behind, something that was turbulent or difficult, and moving towards something more peaceful. And there are other people in the boat with them, which tells me that you are not making this transition alone. There's support available to you. Even if you have not been able to see it or accept it up until now, here is what I think is going to happen in the next 24 hours. You are going to have an opportunity to make a choice that moves you out of struggle mode and into flow mode. It might look like saying no to something you would normally say yes to. It might look like asking for help with something you would normally try to handle alone. It might look like literally walking away from a situation that has been draining you, even though part of you feels guilty about it. Whatever form it takes, the Six of Swords is telling us that you have the chance to consciously choose the calmer path, the path that actually honors your well-being instead of sacrificing it. I want to talk about the emotional component of this card because it is really important. The Six of Swords often comes up when we have been through something difficult, and we are finally ready to process it and move forward. You might have been stuffing down your feelings, telling yourself you will deal with them later when you have time. But later never comes because you are always on to the next responsibility. But in this 24-hour window, there is space opening up for you to actually feel what you have been going through. To acknowledge that yes, it has been hard. Yes, you have been stretched thin. Yes, you deserve rest and support and ease. And that emotional honesty is actually what is going to power this transition forward. The Six of Swords is also about mental clarity. You know how sometimes you are so deep in a situation that you cannot see it clearly? You are too close, too involved, too overwhelmed to have any perspective. But then you step back or you get some distance and suddenly everything makes sense. That is what is available to you right now. You are gaining the mental and emotional distance you need to see your situation for what it really is. And with that clarity comes the ability to make better decisions, to choose differently, to navigate your life with more wisdom and less reactivity. I keep hearing this phrase, you do not have to fight so hard. And I think that is a message a lot of Capricorns need to hear because you are so used to struggling, to proving yourself, to working twice as hard as everyone else to get half the recognition. But the Six of Swords is saying that there is another way. There is a path that does not require so much effort and force. There is a way to move through your life that feels more like sailing than swimming against the current. And in the next 24 hours, you are going to get a glimpse of what that could look like for you. Now we are moving into the third card. And this is where I really started to understand the deeper story that is unfolding for you. The card is Judgment and Capricorn. This is huge. The Judgment card is about awakening, about seeing yourself and your life with completely new eyes, about answering a higher calling. This is not about being judged by others or judging yourself harshly. This is about a moment of profound clarity where you finally understand what you are really here to do and who you are really meant to be. When judgment shows up, especially in a reading about a 24-hour window, it tells me that you are on the verge of a major realization. Something is going to click into place that has been trying to come through for a while now. You might have been getting hints, little nudges from the universe, moments where you thought, maybe I should consider this, but then you got busy and pushed it aside. But now, in this particular moment, the message is going to come through so clearly that you cannot ignore it anymore. The Judgment card often appears when we are at a crossroads, when we have the opportunity to shed an old version of ourselves and step into something new. And looking at this card in context with the Ten of Wands and Six of Swords, I can see that you are being called to release the identity you have built around being the strong one, the responsible one, the one who never needs anything from anyone. That version of you has served you well in some ways, but it has also kept you trapped in patterns that are exhausting and unsustainable. And now you are being given the chance to answer a different call, to become a version of yourself that is still strong and capable, but also knows how to receive, how to rest, how to let other people support you. In the traditional imagery of the Judgment card, there are figures rising up, responding to a call from above. They are being summoned to a higher level of consciousness, a higher way of being. And that is exactly what is happening for you right now. You are being called to rise above the limiting beliefs you have held about what you have to do and who you have to be. You are being invited to see that your worth is not tied to your productivity, that your value does not come from how much you can carry or how little you need from others. Here is what I think might happen in the next 24 hours. You might have a conversation with someone who reflects back to you something you have not been able to see about yourself. You might have a quiet moment alone where suddenly everything makes sense, and you understand why things have been the way they have been. You might receive news or information that completely changes your perspective on a situation you have been struggling with. However it comes, the Judgment card is telling us that you are about to have one of those moments where you cannot go back to seeing things the old way. Once you see it, and everything shifts from there. I want to emphasize how powerful this is in the context of a 24-hour reading. This is not about some distant future transformation. This is happening now. The awakening is happening now. The call is being sounded now. And you have the opportunity to answer it, to say yes to this new level of awareness, to step into this new version of yourself that has been waiting in the wings for you to be ready. The Judgment card is also deeply connected to forgiveness and release. It is asking you, what are you still holding on to that needs to be forgiven? And I do not just mean forgiving other people, although that might be part of it. I mean forgiving yourself for not being perfect, for not having it all figured out, for being human and having limits and needs, for all the times you pushed yourself too hard and ignored your own well-being, for all the times you said yes when you wanted to say no. The Judgment card is creating a space for you to release all of that and start fresh with a new understanding of who you are and what you are capable of. Moving into the fourth card now. And this one surprised me because it is not what I would have expected given the intensity of the first three cards. But it makes so much sense when you really sit with it. The card is the Five of Pentacles, and I know this card can look scary at first glance. In the traditional imagery, there are two figures struggling through snow, walking past a church window filled with light and warmth, but they do not go inside. They keep walking, cold and struggling, not realizing that help and comfort are right there if they would just turn around and reach for it. Capricorn, this is such an important card for you to understand right now because it is showing me a pattern that you have been living in. You have been so focused on being self-sufficient, on not needing anything from anyone, that you have literally been walking past sources of support and comfort that are available to you. And the reason this is coming up in this 24-hour window is because the universe is about to make this pattern really obvious to you. You are going to see, maybe for the first time, how much you have been choosing struggle when ease was available. How much you have been isolating yourself when connection was possible. How much you have been going without when resources were actually within reach. The Five of Pentacles is often about feeling left out in the cold. Feeling like you on the outside looking in, feeling like you do not have what you need. But the deeper message of this card is that the lack you are experiencing is often self-imposed. It is not that help is not available. It is that you have not been willing or able to ask for it or accept it. And for someone with your Capricorn energy, this makes so much sense because you pride yourself on being independent and capable. Asking for help feels like weakness. Admitting you need support feels like failure. So you keep pushing, keep struggling, keep trying to do it all yourself, even when you are exhausted and depleted. But here is what the cards are showing me about the next 24 hours. Something is going to happen that makes you realize you do not have to do this alone. Maybe someone is going to offer you help in a way that feels genuine and without strings attached. Maybe you are going to recognize that a resource you thought was out of reach is actually available to you. Maybe you are going to have a moment of vulnerability where you actually express what you need, and to your surprise, someone shows up for you. Whatever form it takes. The Five of Pentacles is here to help you see that you have been standing in your own way when it comes to receiving support. I want to be really clear about something. The Five of Pentacles is not saying you are a victim or that you are helpless or that you cannot take care of yourself. What it is saying is that you do not always have to take care of yourself alone. That being strong enough to ask for help is actually a higher form of strength than suffering in silence. That recognizing when you need support and allowing yourself to receive it is a sign of wisdom, not weakness. In this 24-hour period. Pay attention to opportunities for support that show up. They might not look the way you expect them to. They might come from unexpected sources. They might require you to be vulnerable in a way that feels uncomfortable. But they are there. And the question is, are you going to keep walking past them, or are you finally going to turn around and let yourself receive what is being offered? The fifth card, and we are really building to something here, is the Nine of Cups. And oh my goodness, Capricorn. When this card came out, I literally smiled because this is where we are headed. This is what is on the other side of all the work you have been doing. All the releasing, all the transitioning, all the awakening. The Nine of Cups is called the wish fulfillment card, the card of emotional satisfaction and contentment. This is you getting what you have been hoping for, what you have been working toward, what your heart has been quietly wishing for, even when you did not let yourself fully acknowledge it. What I love about seeing the Nine of Cups in this reading is that tells me all of this transition and transformation we have been talking about is not just about releasing and letting go. It is about making space for something really beautiful to come in. You are not just moving away from struggle, you are moving toward genuine happiness and fulfillment. And the fact that this card is showing up in a 24-hour reading tells me that you are about to get a taste of what that feels like. You are about to experience a moment of real satisfaction, real joy, real contentment. And it is going to remind you why all of this work has been worth it. The Nine of Cups is often depicted as someone sitting in front of 9 cups arranged behind them. And their expression is one of complete satisfaction. They have what they want. They feel good. They are content with where they are and what they have created. And for you, this is representing a shift into a state of being where you actually allow yourself to enjoy your life, where you are not constantly pushing toward the next goal or the next responsibility, where you can sit back and say, you know what? This is good. I am good. I have worked hard, and I deserve to feel satisfied with what I have created. In the context of the next 24 hours. I think you are going to have a moment of real pleasure or joy that catches you off guard. It might be something simple, like a conversation that leaves you feeling really seen and appreciated. It might be a small win that reminds you that you are actually doing a lot better than you give yourself credit for. It might be a moment where you look around at your life and instead of seeing everything that is wrong or everything that still needs to be done, you actually see what is working and what is good. And that shift in perspective, that ability to recognize and celebrate what you have, is incredibly powerful. The Nine of Cups is also about emotional fulfillment, about feeling good in your heart and soul, not just checking boxes or achieving external goals. I think this is particularly important for you right now because you have been so focused on doing and accomplishing that you have not given yourself permission to simply feel good, to enjoy the fruits of your labor, to acknowledge that you have created something worthwhile. This card is giving you permission to experience that satisfaction, even if everything is not perfect, even if there is still work to be done, even if you have not achieved every single goal yet. There is also an element of wish fulfillment with this card that I want to talk about. The Nine of Cups suggests that something you have been wanting is about to manifest or show up in your life. Now, I am always careful about making specific predictions because the cards show us energy and possibility, not guaranteed outcomes. But what I can tell you is that the energy around you right now is really ripe for positive manifestation. You are in a space where the universe wants to give you something that your heart has been asking for. And the key is being open to receiving it, being willing to recognize it when it shows up, and allowing yourself to actually enjoy it instead of immediately moving on to the next thing. Finally, the sixth card, the one that really brings this whole reading together, is the Ten of Pentacles. Capricorn, I cannot think of a more perfect card to end on because this is your energy. This is the ultimate Capricorn card. The Ten of Pentacles is about legacy, about long-term security, about building something that lasts, about creating stability not just for yourself, but for the people you care about. This is about the culmination of all your hard work paying off in a really tangible, lasting way. What strikes me about seeing this card in a 24-hour reading is that the universe is showing you a vision of where all of this is leading. Yes, you are in a transition right now. Yes, you are releasing old patterns and old ways of being. Yes, things might feel uncertain or uncomfortable as you navigate these changes. But the Ten of Pentacles is here to assure you that there is something really solid and beautiful waiting for you on the other side. That all of your effort and dedication and commitment to doing things the right way is going to pay off in a big way. The Ten of Pentacles represents the kind of success that goes beyond just personal achievement. It is about creating something that has value beyond yourself, something that can be shared and passed down and built upon. I think this is about finally understanding that your worth and your contribution are not measured by how much you sacrifice or how hard you struggle. They are measured by the quality and sustainability of what you build. And when you shift from that martyrdom energy we talked about with the Ten of Wands into this more balanced, more supported approach, you actually become much more effective at creating the legacy you want to create. In the next 24 hours, I think you are going to get a glimpse of this bigger picture. You might receive recognition for work you have done. You might see evidence that your efforts are creating lasting impact. You might have a moment where you understand how all the pieces fit together and where everything is heading. And that vision, that clarity about the long-term trajectory is going to give you so much motivation to keep going, to trust the process, to believe that, yes, it really is all going to work out. The Ten of Pentacles also speaks to family, community, and the people who share your values and support your vision. So in this 24-hour window, pay attention to the relationships in your life. You might have a meaningful interaction with someone who reminds you that you are not alone in this, that you are part of something bigger than yourself. You might receive support from an unexpected source. You might realize that the community or family system you have been building, whether that is literal family or chosen family, is actually really strong and capable of supporting you in ways you have not fully acknowledged. Let me bring all of this together for you because there is such a clear story here. You are standing at a threshold, Capricorn. Behind you is the old way of doing things. The Ten of Wands energy of carrying too much and pushing too hard and sacrificing yourself for everyone else. And ahead of you is this new path represented by the Six of Swords, moving toward calmer waters and more sustainable ways of being. The Judgment card is that moment of awakening where you see what needs to change and you answer the call to step into a new version of yourself. The Five of Pentacles is showing you where you have been blocking support and giving you the opportunity to finally let help in. The Nine of Cups is the emotional fulfillment and satisfaction that becomes possible when you stop struggling so hard. The Ten of Pentacles is the ultimate destination, the legacy and security and lasting success that comes from building on a foundation of balance rather than burnout. In the next 24 hours, you are going to have multiple opportunities to choose this new path. Some of them might feel scary because they require you to be vulnerable or to trust or to let go of control. But I promise you, every time you choose ease over struggle, every time you choose receiving over isolation, every time you choose to honor your needs instead of pushing through, you are moving closer to that Ten of Pentacles energy. You are building the life you actually want instead of just surviving the life you think you have to live. So here is what I want to leave you with. Pay attention today and tomorrow to where you feel that weight, that burden, that sense of having to do it all yourself. And when you notice it, ask yourself, what if I did not have to carry this alone? What if there was another way? What if I let myself receive support here? See what happens when you experiment with that. See what opens up when you stop clenching so hard and start allowing a little more flow. The cards are telling me that something really beautiful is trying to emerge for you. But you have to create space for it by releasing what is no longer serving you. I am really excited for you, Capricorn. This is a time of real transformation and real possibility. I truly believe that 24 hours from now, you are going to be looking at your life a little differently. You're going to have more clarity, more peace, more awareness of what is possible when you stop fighting so hard and start trusting a little more. Does any of this resonate with you? Are you feeling this shift in your energy? I would love to hear what is coming up for you in the comments. If this reading connected with you, I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe so we can keep exploring these energies together. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next reading.